Okay, so we've learned the truth tables, so let's see if we can get a little bit of value out of them now. So once you've memorized the truth tables, you can use them to quickly evaluate the truth values of compound propositions that have been interpreted, meaning that they've had truth values assigned to the atomic propositions inside them. So really be sure you've memorized the truth tables. You got to be able to write these out easily from memory, and also make sure that you understand the idea of the scope of an operator and are able to identify the main operator, the main connective in any formula. Okay, so think about this sentence, P or Q, if P or Q, then P and Q, that's been interpreted as P is true and Q is false. And so what you do is you set it up in a table like this, where TF corresponds to this particular interpretation. Now, if it had said not P or not Q here, we'd write the opposite truth value rather than put say an F under a Q and a T squeezed in under the not, because that gets pretty tedious and ugly. Okay, so now you need to notice that the conditional here is the main connective, which means that you're going to evaluate these two propositions first. So you're going to evaluate P or Q, and you're going to evaluate P and Q, and then afterwards you'll evaluate the arrow. Okay, so let's evaluate P or Q. If you know the truth table for the or, then you know when P is true, when any one of them is true, that's really all you need to think about, then it has to be true, right? And if you know the truth table for the conjunction, you know that if any one of the conjuncts is false, it has to be false, right? And so now the way you want to read this is this says, now we're at the level of our main connective, right? The main operator. This will be the truth value for the whole proposition. And the way you'll read this is if true, then false. So if true, then false, well, you know that there's only one situation in which a conditional is false, and that's if we have the antecedent true and the conditional false. So that has to be false. So that's the value of the entire proposition. All right? Okay, check out another one. So here we have a different sentence with three propositions in it, P, Q, and R. P has been given false, Q has been given false, and R has been given the value T. And so we set it up again in a table like this. So now if we look at this, we can see, well, where's the main operator? Well, the smallest formula containing or is R or Q. The smallest formula containing and is P and Q. Smallest formula containing the conditional is if P and Q, then R or Q. And so the smallest formula containing the negation is the main is the whole formula, which makes negation the main operator. Okay, so suppose we're going to evaluate P and Q. Well, when they're both false, it's certainly false, right? I jumped the gun here. With R or Q, right, it's true as long as one of them is true. This is true, right? So now we have if F then T, and if F then T. Well, the only time the conditional is false is if it begins with a T and ends with an F. So that's going to be true. But now we need to negate the true, right? And if we negate the true, we're going to get false. And so false is the value for that whole proposition. All right, so that's a very straightforward application, and so I'll just give you a few to work on here as study questions, and then I've given you a worksheet as well to do for class. Make sure you go ahead and pause this right now because I'll be giving you the answers within a few seconds of going to the next question.